fuck is this bitch? Alright, do this, join my own spaces. Mute. Okay. Let's take a look to see what is going on in his house. The fuck? This could be a good background for what we're going to be talking about today. Listen, excuse me. There has been a lot of interesting information that we can discuss online. It's very hard to really quantify it as put it into a subject. You know what I mean? So that's the difficult part of it. But there's a lot of topics. There's a shit ton of topics. There's a shit ton of things to actually really go over. And I don't know how to really take a lot of this information. Because truthfully, we might as well begin. But of course, before we start, let's skip by formalities. This is the Hump Day news. Anything that has happened from Saturday, no, yeah, from Sunday to Wednesday, or for Sunday, yeah, from Sunday to Tuesday is what I normally report on. And really, before we start, we actually talk about, story time. And we're going to really kick it off. I know today's story time is, see what we got going on here. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Where the fuck is my story time? Shit. See, this is why I can't stand. I fucking can't stand like Google products, man. What the fuck? I'm trying to pull this bitch up again, and it's like stuck. It's stuck right now. It's absolutely stuck. Oh well. I'm gonna get this fucking picture, yo. What they did? Derb. I could just pull it up through Discord. All right, cool. The story time we have today, before we get into our topics, is normally what I would do, because I work from home, is that I would walk around the neighborhood, just to kind of let out all the energy and shit like that. Not really for exercise or anything of that nature, just to walk around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? See something different. That's what I typically do. And what I ended up, what's going on, man? What I ended up actually dealing with is there was this black lady. She was actually in town, and she was she had, like, it was the most ridiculous thing. She had like a t-shirt on, like a heavy set, maybe like 56, 7-year-old lady. And she has like this real cotton kind of maternity type clothes on. And she's walking, and I'm walking in the same direction because I need to walk around the block. And she's like totally fucking scared out of her fucking mind. And let me tell you, my neighborhood is not that fucking bad. It really isn't that deep. But this is like the typical grandmom, big mama type grandma. She's like walking faster and faster. So I said, let me just go to the right of her, you know what I mean? So she won't get spooked the fuck out. I was like, let me just go all the way to the right. And she sees me, as I would like to make her feel comfortable. I wanted her to see me through her peripheral so she could feel like I'm not trying to roll up on her. And she already knows I'm there. But eventually, she just stops in the middle of the fucking sidewalk, totally frozen. Totally frozen. And this is in broad daylight. This is at 3:30 p.m. And I'm like, she has no purse. She doesn't have a coat on. She doesn't have anything of value. I'm like, are you really afraid of another black guy? For real? She was utterly terrified. I'm like, what the fuck? What am I going to steal from you? Your coochie? Like, what are we doing? Oh no, I don't have my purse, but he may steal my coochie. I don't know what the fuck her problem was, but I thought that was funny. And just the current state of events that we are in now. It's the most ridiculous thing that I'm dealing with here. Just looking at all the political correctness and shit like that. So on my news feed on my phone, I also see that there's a shortage of baby formula, and they're like, it's an outcry. It's this war that's going on. It's we don't have any. How are we going to feed the children? There's no baby formula. There's no Gerber. I'm just thinking to myself, like, why don't you just use your titty? Like, I don't like. Is that free? Did you women forget that you had a titty that produced milk? You know what I mean? You should have already been on that shit because it's expensive to pay for fucking baby formula and shit like that, and it's better for the baby. I was just like, wait, what? Like, I don't know. To me that shit was funny, yo. I made during the conversation post that picture out. There was like a shortage of breast or baby formula. Like you just couldn't pick up a titty or some shit. But anyway, we're gonna get into these topics here. We got a couple of topics to talk about here. We might as well just jump right into it. And there was a lot of topics here. And you know what? I'm tired. I am absolutely sick of pretending that PlayStation don't have it going on. Yo, what's going on, Jemiah? I'm tired of PlayStation. I'm tired of acting like we don't got it going on in this bitch. Where other platforms are stating we have seen improvement, significant improvement to the issues that have prevented some users from purchasing and launching their games. We expect full migration into the coming days with a rollout of a new update. Why does it actually? What? And I may talk about this on Saturday, but like people are really not, they're just sweeping this shit out to the rug. If I were a fan, and people were talking about Gran Turismo, right? Gran Turismo was down for like 32 hours, but that was one game. And then they start mentioning about microtransactions and shit like that. But again, that was just one game. So that was on every large YouTube channel they had. Young popping that shit, popping his fucking pussy on the line, complaining about this shit. Everybody under the sun having these fucking shows where they start off and they're not saying anything and they're looking down and they do that fucking gas. I hate to break it to you guys, but Sony is really nigga, it's one game. Relax. 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 You got a whole online service that is preventing you from playing games that are single player and you can't play it at all. And I get that it's not widespread, but fuck, you should be pissed if I bought a $60 game or there's also Game Pass, which is inherently DRM. You should be pissed. All those fucking games, free games, right? That, that you made so much of a savings here and so much of a savings there, and you really want the market to go that way and shit like that. Now you can't play it. And these is one of the fucking issues of DRM and having subscription services, because the shit goes down. That is a fucking problem for you. For you. Not for me, bitch. For you. Oh shit, somebody trying to go in there. Nope. I ain't doing it. Not doing it at all, Mr. Mindbender. Nope. I kind of just want to speak my piece and keep it the fuck moving. Not doing it at all. Or cares. I'm saying what I gotta say and keeping that shit moving because I don't know. I actually have games to play tonight. I got games to play tonight. I don't know about you. Maybe your service is down, but I got games to play tonight. Leave your comments on that YouTube link. You got a problem? That's the only time I want to see y'all motherfuckers talking. Don't say shit. Leave them comments on my YouTube channel on that link. As a matter of fact, I'll let you. That's where you go. You go to that link, and you can pop all the pussy shit you want. It's there for you. It's yours. That's where you. That's where you need to go. That's my space. All right, cool. Because we, you know what, Gears. I want to hear this shit. Let's pop that pussy. Go on, Gears. I'll do him. Because I already know the class shit is too much right now. I'm trying to orchestrate this fucking show. Gears, you requested it. I invited it. What's up? Can you explain to me, Gears? Would it be? What you going to tell me? You're going to tell me, right? You're going to say, I don't have a problem. I'm playing my games just fine. Is that what you're going to say? That's what you're going to say, right? I already have my... look. Oh, he gone.
Oh, I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here.
Okay, good. All right, cool. I'm going to let him go because I haven't talked to him before. Let's get the flavor. What's going on?
First of all, man, I definitely appreciate your energy. I'm over here laughing and hitting the icon. But I tell you what, my only thing with the DRM, I get the frustration. But you know what? Our phone, think about how everything seems like it's technologically connected. Our cell phones go down. Sometimes the towers don't go down and our phones go down. Our bank, sometimes stuff happens where we don't have access. I think that it's unfortunately it's one of the technological ills that come along with newer technology. I've been an Xbox fan since the original, but I've owned both the Xbox and PlayStation every generation except for the PlayStation 2. I didn't own the PlayStation 2. I owned the 5 and I gave it away. I'm primarily an Xbox gamer. I prefer Xbox platform. My only thing is that it was weird. I just wish with our messenger and stuff with the phone, because it's on our phone and stuff. You know, we got the app, like you guys have the app. I just wish they would have said, "Hey, there's an outage." You know, that would have been cool. Let me know. I never could find anything even online that said, "Hey," until I saw it on Twitter. But it should have been sent out just in a mass communication. That's the only thing I'll say. But I think that whether we like it or not, that's something I don't think they'll compromise on unless we start speaking with our wallets and just boycott gaming, I guess. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's fixed, it's resolved. I mean, but Netflix has DRM.
I get it. So this is what I'm going to say, right?
Okay.
Because there's a couple of things now that you're in the chat, man, and I'm just kind of curious. And to be honest with you, I would love to have this type of conversation. I feel like this is very healthy conversation where you're not doing the whole fanboy war shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I don't do that anyway.
Not you or anything like that. So if somebody likes it, right, that's fine. But where was this energy when Gran Turismo went down? You know what I mean? Where was this comforting motherly energy when Gran Turismo?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I never knew. I knew about how Gran Turismo looked, and I've joked with some guys I know about that. You know, I counsel war a little bit, but I didn't know that his service had ever went down. That's something I never heard. And I'm subscribed to a few channels that are Xbox channels. I never knew that it went down at all. But I'll say this to you: anything live service will go down. I used to play one of the first heavy play live services was the Division 2. When it dropped, and the Division 2 used to be down, it was always down allegedly for maintenance, but it was down all the time. Outriders would be down on anything that's a live service or that's tied to some type of authenticator or something like that, a licensing authenticator. It's man-made, y'all. I know somebody that had a brand new vehicle, brand new Explorer, had it a month and the engine blew up. They had to total it out and replace the car.
See, I get that. I get that, but there is a level of trolling that happens,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
folks
why,
don't talk. They talk.
and that's why it's funny because I try not to troll. I mean, I'm being legitimately concerned in this particular case. I'm not even laughing at the situation. I'm just saying I like my PlayStation services in general. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, and I get it. They may have fixed it. I'm not on that note. I'm just here to say that energy needed to be kept.
I,
You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
tell you this, Gamecast. I'm gonna tell you this. The only thing that turned me off from PlayStation, there were two things.
I was going to ask too.
There were two things. I'm an open world third person gamer, right? I love the Bethesda games. Last gen, what turned me off was when you play like Fallout 4. All of the mods that are out there are totally available on Xbox, right? Any mod you can think of, they allow it on their server. But PlayStation, if you look at the game and look at the mods you can get, they weren't allowing a lot of the mods. And when I asked, I called them. They said, well, to make it plain, we don't like people touching our stuff. They don't like people doing a lot of tinkering and adding. So it's very conservative and streamlined. And hey, that's cool. The other thing I didn't like, to be honest with you, man, what made me literally give my PS5 away, I gave it to my 22-year-old daughter. She got her own place. She grown. She out. I said, man, you want this thing? Come get it. I had both systems. I had an issue with the PS5. It was brand new. And they were telling me that there was something with you guys' software where, and I'm not capping, something where the headphones wouldn't reach a certain volume or something, because they wouldn't just, I went through maybe 10 headsets and none of them would really get loud enough. And I would take them back and try something else, or order something, send it back, try something else. And they said it was something with the software that limited it. Like on PS4, they would get banging loud where you'd have to turn them down. PS5, they don't get as loud. I don't know if you've noticed that perhaps, but then when you're sitting there with an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5 next to it, and you put the wireless headphones on, you got them on the Xbox, and they so loud you got to cut them down, and then on the PlayStation, you still got room where you wish you had a few more clicks.
It's a Sony situation. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you exactly what's going on. There is a software. It's an operating system where you could turn up the headset volume specifically. Right.
It just wasn't loud enough.
So, well, if it wasn't loud enough, then you get this situation, and I get it. Because I have a couple of questions to ask you as well, since you are here.
That's fair.
And it's not like, again, this ain't no trolling shit. I want more people that favor Xbox. I'm gonna start asking them directly and start really picking this shit apart. It's the same thing with Sony phones. It's the same thing with Sony. A lot of things that is audio. They had a crazy lawsuit back when the iPhone. I don't know how Apple was able to circumvent this shit, but the iPods back in the day would make people go deaf.
Yeah, they would. Yep, I remember.
It was
when they
so
first
fucking
came
loud.
out.
You remember? We probably the same age. It would make people go deaf, and Sony don't want that kind of smoke. In terms of the mods, Sony have already dealt with like PlayStation Home and all sorts of crazy shit that was going on. And the more popular you are, the more liable you are to be attacked by activists and shit like that. It's difficult. It's a fine line. See, Nintendo's fans, first of all, the system is limited. That's number one. So you can't really do too much anyway. You know what I mean? So the only thing that they really got going on that people can't really fuck with is the software. You know, if you want to get mad at the software that's being released on the console, you go that directly to the publisher. But Sony has all these, and Microsoft have all these network situations there. The difference between Sony and Microsoft is that the PlayStation is a more popular system. You know, so they are more liable. It's more mainstream. They're more liable to get in trouble for the shit that's going on.
I think with Xbox, it's a computer too. I mean, at the basis of the core,
all of these things are computers. And well, and that let's be. I want to ask that question too.
Okay.
Since Microsoft is a software company, like, how did you fuck up the DRM with this shit? You know what I mean? That you have to release a
Well,
patch. I don't
I'll say
understand
this
that.
because it's made by human hands.
Eh,
Anything made by human hands is flawed. It's just we haven't found the flaw in it yet. I mean, I'm a fisherman, and I've bought expensive reels that had ball bearing issues. I mean, it's
I know,
anything that's made
I
with
get it,
human hands is
and I
flawed.
get it, and I totally understand that. But here's the thing: this is why I want to get more people that favor Xbox on the show, because I really feel like that shit needs to go, man. The toxic
Well,
behavior all across the board,
you know what
because
though?
there's situations that's on PlayStation that happens, and then you get all of these fucking people, like the whole animation shits that we were dealing with. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? I'm like, what the fuck?
I think it's all in. I think that part is all in fun when folk get
Yeah,
indignant,
but it's
and
not. It's not though. It typically
you don't
is.
think so?
No, it's typically surrounding the Xbox. You already
See,
heard the what? You already heard the Xbot that shot his fucking mom. And
nah,
you
we ain't gonna do that. That ain't got nothing to do with
hold
no
on,
Xbox. Your ass was
hold on,
crazy.
wait. There was also on these podcasts with this crumb size shit
I
multiple
don't know what you're
times.
talking about.
Oh, okay,
But
you pleading the fifth? Okay.
no. But I'll
Uh,
say this to you. I'm an Xbox guy. Now we don't. Now let me just be plain.
mhm.
Last gen we were picked with and harassed, even at church, about our game systems. If you're a church going person, you even got. If you was an Xbox cat, folk would try to clown you at church because it happened to me. And so I'll say this: it's a different generation now. I think that I will be. We can be fair. I think I'll be honest and say that PlayStation fans felt like, okay, we beat y'all in the Generation 4. Now we got the 5, and it's not the same energy. And folks, I don't think folk can really deal with the energy back. It's almost like being a bully and somebody finally ring your bell at school. I don't know if you ever had.
I love this. I love this. So let me finish what I
Okay,
was going to say,
go ahead.
because this is what I was going to say too. This is the situation that I was dealing with. Um, you mentioned, I was saying some crumb size shit that was going on. There was multiple podcasts that I was either in or have heard where you had people that had Xboxes. They were so in the Xboxes. They were so in their feelings that they pulled out a fucking gun on the stream. It is you saying we're not going to do that, but I don't know what the fucking
Uh,
emotional
Now, if you
tie is.
disrespect me, I might threaten to do something to you.
But it's a
Or
but
you, but that's about it. Not
but
over the box
look,
itself.
I get it. And again, people start drawing conclusions. I'm gonna tell you straight off the rip. It's a plastic box. You mentioned bullying. I don't think you understood how badly the PlayStation fans were treated during the PS3 era. We lost our fucking games. They didn't perform well. You had Digital Foundry up our fucking ass. You had hold on. You had GameStop that was doing all sorts of fucked up shit, putting all Xbox shit in front. Ours, we had to go all the way to the fucking back of the fucking store.
That's
Every
true.
time we had, every time we had a fucking bro. You
Man,
guys can't
every
look.
gen it seems like it go back and forth.
You guys can't cry victim after what happened.
No,
The thing.
no, okay. Fair exchange is no robbery, though, right?
Here's the thing, though. It's not
Y'all
like
talk big shit last gen.
we did shit because we had
Here we
ammunition though.
go. You
No,
gonna justify it? Come on, be fair. Be
no.
fair.
I'm not justifying it. But what I will say though, right, is that we had ammunition to
Yeah.
say that our shit is better. Instead of you guys that are fans of Xbox coming at us, why didn't you vote with your wallets and be like, I'm not buying a motherfucking controller, not one more controller until you fix this shit. The games weren't being
Well,
released. Shit, but
when
hold
you
on,
ask the
wait, but hold
question,
on,
let
but
me
hold on,
answer
but
it.
hold on. I'm gonna finish. The games weren't up to fucking snuff. They were canceling fucking shits. They were raising the fucking price of Xbox Live. And you guys go to PlayStation fanboys for what? Go to them.
Watch this. You asked the question.
All right.
The same reason we bought the stuff last gen is the same reason, in spite of Jim Ryan dancing and lying. in spite of $70 games, in spite of them shooting moves, nickel and diamond, which is another reason I got rid of my PlayStation, and their unfriendly customer service,
Their customer
uncustomer
service,
service.
their customer
Their
service is
customer service is
trash.
horrible, and they
Trash.
rude. And if you get an American agent, they talk real nasty to you if they pick up your black accent. I had a guy really, really go there with me, and I had to, I had to speak to the supervisor. The supervisor backed him up. I mean, but I wasn't popping off. I said, okay. I said, I'm getting rid of the system today, and I'll never purchase another Sony item again. And I meant it. One thing about me, when a company pisses me off, I do vote with my wallet. I'll never shop with them again. And so, let me tell you something. I had an issue with my Xbox when I first got it, and I was able to contact Phil Spencer himself. Phil Spencer oversaw the step by step of my situation being rectified, and he sent me an email. I got emails from Phil Spencer, dude. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. The CEO of Xbox making sure your stuff is straight. It was his email. I've gamed with him on PlayStation. I mean, on Xbox, and so I mean, I guess for me, and I'm not trying to politicize it. PlayStation comes off very conservative. Even their dashboard wasn't fun. It's never been to me. Xbox is always kind of like the frat boy, the more fun. To me, it's more fun. It's more relaxed. I don't want it to be so streamlined. Even their presentations are like ours are like rock concerts, and y'all sometimes come off like classical classical music. Hell, I don't know what they call concerts, I guess. So I mean, I ain't
So
knocking
this
nobody
is
for
look.
liking
I'm not.
PlayStation, but
I'm
don't
not.
knock my Xbox. That's
Here's the
all.
thing. Here's the thing. Everyone is going to knock something that looks shitty. See, the things that
Our
Microsoft is.
shit don't look shitty though. The Series
Well, I
X
mean,
is the most advanced system this gen. I know y'all don't want to accept it, but that's like saying that's like when people.
oh,
That's like when Braun and them was winning the championship there. Oh, that's because they roster is stacked. Well, guess who else did that, man? In the
so
50s, when the New York Yankees won all those championships, the roster was stacked.
oh, see,
Before they stacked the roster, they wore pinstripe uniforms. People lost to the Yankees because they couldn't take their eyes off the damn pinstripes in
so
the
I'm a,
in the 30s.
so let me ask you a question, right?
Go ahead.
Are you going to be available to talk on Saturday?
Saturday. Probably so. What time?
7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, I should be. If
All
not,
right.
man,
Let me.
I'll inbox you. I'm about to send you a follow real quick, so I'll be
Yeah.
able to
Let me
communicate
do
with you.
that. And again, oh, I'm already following you. I guess you. That's how you probably found me. Oh, yeah. All right. Cool. So I'm going to say this because what you're saying is definitely interesting here. It's so interesting that I would like to have like something that's more focused or whatever the case is that's
Okay.
specifically for that, because there's a lot to unpack what you just said, and I feel like there's a lot to unpack. There's past shit that's going on.
Whole lot of shit going on. You're right.
There's misconceptions all over the place across the board. And my back history is this: I used to program.
Okay.
It's been a long time ago, but I do have an understanding on how certain chips work. Like if I see
Okay.
what's going on, I'll be able to kind of pinpoint it. Like I can understand it. But just know this, right? When they released the PlayStation 5's information, they mentioned that shit was 10.3 teraflops, man, and all the Xbox went crazy. You guys are asking, not you, but Xbox are asking for smoke. Asking for smoke all day, every day. It's something that we didn't initiate.
I think Phil Spencer is up for the smoke, man. I love him. And I think Sarah Bond behind him is up for the smoke because
Like
she's coming right behind him. She's his
we
protege.
we didn't ask for. We didn't even engage. Every time we do something, it's always something extra. Like
Nah.
it's always something. And look, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I think you know what? I think that people need to realize, man. Okay, like I'm a Lions fan, and we get grief. Lions have never won a Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. They've never been to the Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. So you know what? I've never seen. This is the only uh, uh, um, area of fandom where folk get crazy. I mean, and I get it. I'll get folk up off me if they being disrespectful. But if you talk about the box itself, I'm not gonna threaten you over a box. I will pop off, but not over the box itself. Something you might say that's crazy to me, but I mean, y'all, at the end of the day, for the most part, it's dudes. We're mostly, most of the fans are dudes. If we can just keep it to the ribbon and the shit talking about the systems without it getting personal. And when it get personal, what we have to understand on both sides is that folk are gonna bring that same energy back. That's all. Understand that if
When
you're going in the yard with a Doberman, it's a chance you might get bit. That's all.
all I'm saying is this, right? Because again, my hump day is all about the PlayStation stuff, right? And that's
Okay,
fine.
that's fair.
You said that you're not going to uh let me DM you really quickly so you remember.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to have this conversation for sure,
Okay.
for sure. Like something. Are you following me? Oh yeah, you are following me.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, so
following.
let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, yo, I was going to put yo. So all I wanted is it's the type of tender, caring. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody makes mistakes and all this other shit. It's
Y'all, at the end of the
that
day, you
shit,
know what?
bro.
At
That
the end of the
shit
day, if
needs
we
a
be
whole
honest,
other.
I
That needs another
listen to the
day.
stuff. I listen to the stuff, right? Y'all, as black men, most of us are black men in the gaming community that kind of deal with each other. Every time we leave the house, we take a risk on catching a hydro shock in our brain
What's
for
going on,
nothing.
Arsenic?
For nothing. So my thing is this: I try to keep it light. I've had to check some folks, some youngins, but I'll be honest with you. If we can just, I would love to cross platform with some guys. I would love to challenge some. There's been some guys on the PlayStation side that have gotten indignant, and I've said, I challenge you to a game of your choice. If I don't own it, I will buy it, and we can go 1v1 on the sticks. I said, and we can broadcast it. I don't play with
Oh, we gonna
scum. I don't
look.
play with
I'm gonna
it.
tell you.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna tell you, yo, bro. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, like, bro. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna try to get more and more of these of Xbox fans and shit like that. But I have
Okay.
some questions for you because I usually just do this shit for an hour. The CEO or whoever the fuck it is for Japan Studio, or not Japan Studios, just for Sony, mentioned that they're not going to do day and date
No, they not.
AAA games, and they said that it's going to degrade the quality of it. Now, people are running math and they're thinking like, if you have 25 million subscribers, then you have this amount of money is $4 billion, and they're not counting the overhead for keeping the servers up or the deals that they have to put third party on there and all of those particular things. But what would be your and just honestly, like, if you are a gamer, you're spending dough, period, and a lot of it, right? Just like if you are an
Uh-huh.
Apple fan, you're going to be spending
You're
fucking money.
spending a lot of ridiculous
N-
money as an Apple
n-
fan. I'm an Android guy, so thank God for that.
nobody's saying that, like, we as an adults, at least for me, I'm intelligent enough to know what to do and what isn't. So when something is not a deal, guess what? It ain't being bought. I don't give a fuck what it is.
I don't care what brand it's on. Now,
It
with
ain't getting
Xbox,
bought.
my thing is this with the Game Pass, right? A lot of people talk about us buying Game Pass, but what they don't know is if you have Xbox and we still have our rewards like PlayStation used to have, right? But the difference is you get these points. And I mean, you can buy a game like okay, I pre-order a game, I might get they might have a special where they give me 4,000 points. So if you got 12,000 points, which ain't real hard to get if you go on Microsoft and do the searches, use Bing instead of Google and stuff like that. Do the little quizzes. You can literally every 2 months get a free month. If you do grind hard, you can get it quicker. But let's say every month you can get a 12,000 points, which is a month of Game Pass Ultimate. Right now, my Game Pass Ultimate between what I bought on CD Keys, because they had a special on like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass Ultimate, where like 3 months was like $30. This was a few months ago. And I stocked up a little bit, and it still stacks. I won't have to even consider paying for Game Pass till June of next year. So I mean, in that scope of things, that's a bargain. I mean, you can't beat free. I mean, beyond the ones I bought, which was $30. So,
there's something that what I want to ask you is because that's definitely going to be a part of the topic and shit like that. I feel like people they need to understand to some degree, because there's a lot of people that just are stupid. They don't get anything. They think anything should be fucking free, and I'm not talking about you, and I'm not talking about Game Pass per se.
Right.
But they think anything fucking should be free, and like for instance, in my state, we have a lot of high fucking taxes where I live at, and what people are screaming about is to put tampons in the boys' bathroom in middle school. Just like my taxpayers' dollars has to be like, I don't want my money to go to something so stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? People just saying shit.
Why would they put them in the boys' bathroom? Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I know where you're going. And I'll be honest with you. The world, man, I was at work today, and I had a kind of day where I was able to sit at my desk without really moving around too much, and I watched Once Upon a Time in America, classic movie, right? And Joe Pesci's brother in the movie said, "The world has become fucking hysterical." That was one of his lines. It was actually the guy that played Paulie from Rocky playing Joe Pesci's brother. They were monsters. And I look at games aside and all this fanboy war and any of that, the world has become for somebody my age, it's become a very strange place. This shit is like something right out of BioShock. It's very strange.
It's very dystopian. It's a weird fucking place.
I'm obsolete, bro, because I'm raising my last child. My two oldest are 23 and 21. She'll be 22. And I'll be honest, I'm raising my last one, and he's 10. And he's an old. You would think he was an 80s kid. Beyond his tech, he got a Oculus and all that. He got his Series S. He got a Switch, the big Switch. He got, he said, well, my friends got the PS5 too. So if he keep his grades up, I'll probably surprise him with that this year at some point. So he can have both or whatever. He's a pretty spoiled kid because he's a baby. But he believes in being a boy's boy. All this subjective stuff, he just ain't. My kid ain't cut like that, man. That's all.
And I'm just going to say this, right? The reason why I brought that up is because of the type of world that people think that we should be living in. But there's always consequences for everything that you do.
You're damn right.
You can't, if you went free, it's going to affect something, because nothing in this world is free. So that's the point I'm assuming that the CEO is trying to make as well. You can put AAA or high production values on the service, but you're going to have to change something to make it work. Sony would sit there and make like $27 billion in revenue and only come out with like $3 billion in profit. Something's going on with that shit, and I don't think it's mismanagement. So people that are sitting there saying $25 or 25 million subscribers versus whatever the price is, especially when you got people doing things that what you're doing, is kind of beating the system and multiplying that shit and stacking it. That's not really 25 million subscribers at $15 or $10. You know what I mean? So
I think what you have to look at though is like, when you most of your hardcore gamers, you might do it, I might do it, the stacking, because we know how that works. But the average mom buying a month of Game Pass or putting it on their
No,
debit
you can't
card,
say
they
that. You
forget it's
can't. You
even
can't
over.
say that. You can't say that anymore because information. See that very thing that you're saying is the same type of mentality that led to that whole big stock boom when it came to GameStop. When somebody
Right,
puts
right.
something on the internet, people, humans, you never underestimate the ingenuity of a human. Trust me, you people will find the tech spirit inside. They will find that shit to find a way to beat a system. So it's like you can't, even with the whole thing with PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now being like combined. People didn't even normally wouldn't have done that. They started doing it, and Sony had to cut that shit off. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, "Oh, Sony, stop you from breaking the system." So my whole thing is this: they said, and I'm glad that they said it's going to, because it's going to cost money, and I don't want. I know as a grown ass man that if you do something, a reaction is going to happen. You put these games on there, and if that was the case, if Game Pass was the way of the future, then we would expect Rockstar to do it. We would expect EA to do it, game and day and date, and all the other stuff. No one's doing it because they already know what it is. So there's some stuff in the background, regardless of if the media is pushing this. The media push a lot of fucking shit, and it be wrong as two left fucking shoes. You know what I'm saying? So that
That's
doesn't
true. That's true.
that's all I'm just saying, speaking logically with the situation. Like my whole idea is not to get mad. So I'm glad about
Oh, I appreciate it.
what Sony is doing in terms of keeping it that way. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if the game isn't good in quality, people are going to speak out quick. People, I said
I
this
can see
last
that.
podcast. I said this last podcast. If people, and I was thinking this too, like Elden Ring, right? I always said that Elden Ring had a lot of issues. It had a lot of fucking issues that was swept under the rug by a lot of people that never played a Souls game. So they were willing to, like, I played other Souls game, I should say, and I didn't think this one was too impressive. And I'm not even talking about graphic wise. There's a lot of gameplay issues, especially if you played them in the past. And what ended up happening is, yeah, you're going to get an explosion of people buying it, but that shit's going to jump off. It's going to drop like a rock. You got that 13 million. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll do anywhere. I think it'll at max do 20 million, and then that'll be it. That would be big for them. But then the funny thing is, people that like From Software is not going to elevate their shit. They're going to make the same fucking game.
Because
You
they
know what I mean?
made that quick
Because they
buck.
made
Yeah, I
so
got
much
you.
money. That's what
Yeah,
it's funny if you know how the
they hit
business
a
works.
lick. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That you gotta, like, even with Sony, you gotta put your fucking foot on their fucking neck. So
yeah,
that's why I
you
say they
right.
say I'm glad that they're doing it, and I think they got a good compromise when it comes to PlayStation Plus, the tier system. If they allow for the trials, it has sparked more people to purchase the games, which would be very good for the industry. You know what I'm saying? You can't be selfish and then wonder why the industry collapsed. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta have an idea as to how to keep the industry from fucking collapsing. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be like From Software and just do the bare minimum, and then have all these people say it's a good game, and then people start playing that shit and be like, I'm not really feeling this.
Yeah, I got
You know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying?
And
The same thing with Rockstar when they made Red Dead Redemption. I thought for sure Red Dead Redemption was going to do way better
you talking about part two
than
or part one?
part two. I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah, I
going to
can see what
do.
you're saying.
I thought it was going to do 40 million, and it stopped
Yeah,
around like 25 million. And it's because everybody and their mom, like the journalist, said it was a great game, and the production values was there, but it had fucked up controls, and it made people not really want to fuck with that game.
yeah, the
You know what
control's
I'm
still
saying?
kind of jacked. I agree.
Like, it don't matter. Like, you could bump the frame rate, but there's a lot of issues. You need aim assist in a single player
Yeah,
game where enemies that barely they don't even move or make something move so you can aim at them. Like, that's how poor the controls were. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So,
true.
like, if you be shame on me once, shame on you twice, right? People will start picking shit up, and even with Sony. Sony thought that they could release a console that was a lot of, that was more. I mean, yeah, they tried to pack stuff in there, but it wasn't well received, and that's where they got themselves in a predicament with the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3. And I know I'm out of order, but I'm gonna talk about Nintendo. Nintendo is worried about the Switch Pro, the successor to the Switch. You know why? Because in this day and age, right, everybody want what they want, and they want it now.
And plus, you got the Steam Deck. I mean, Doc talks about Dr. Mindbender talk about he hangs his hat on that Steam Deck. He had one, and he loves it. I said, Dr. Mindbender, a lot of people are buying the Steam Deck now. You know, a lot of the adult gamers. I mean, they're kind of leaving the Switch behind.
I don't think that the Steam Deck is really This is what's going to happen. The same thing that happened. This is why they were worried. I've been saying this shit. Everybody clapping like seals about, oh, they sold 107 million. I'm like, yo, do not encourage that. I told you, for every action, there's a fucking reaction. You know what I'm saying? You accept the mediocrity. You accept the mediocrity, and that's what you're going to get. Guess what's going to happen? The same thing that happened with Sony. PlayStation 4s were selling like fucking hotcakes the second they told people that they were going to make a PS5. It dropped off like a fucking rock.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They Nintendo was like, I ain't saying shit because this shit is flying off the fucking shelves. If people are going to continue to buy that shit, that's a misuse.
For sure.
That's misusing. There's better shit. Shit, the fucking Vita was better than fucking the Switch. You know what I'm saying? But that's a misuse. And again, they will suffer for it. I guarantee you, the second they release a Switch Pro, no more Switches. People are going to be I'm moving on to the next one.
I appreciate you letting me come on your space, man, and talk on your platform. Definitely, we're going to get together Saturday, man. I appreciate the cordial conversation back and forth. I think at the end of the day, it's about preference. And that's real.
I know you about to hop out of here. I know you about to hop out of here, but let me tell you, some people like to eat ass. That's not for me. But I'm not going to get mad at you if you do. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. But yeah, man, anytime, man, anytime. And I hope to see you there on Friday or Saturday. Excuse me, at 7.
For sure, brother. Be easy, man. Good evening.
Be easy. Good evening.
Josh, a lot of people too, like especially a lot of Xbox dudes that have both, they'd hop on PlayStation Plus for a month, play all the shit that they wanted to play all month long, 10, 15 hours a day, and cut that shit the fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but give me 1 second. Yeah, no, I know, but there's a lot to unpack with this one. I'm gonna have to actually listen to this shit. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it and start making notes. That was very interesting. Arsenic. The people are looking at the sales numbers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for us, it doesn't make sense if they release a Switch Pro. The fuck cares about the Switch? But that is going to hurt Nintendo. That's fucking free money. You know what I'm saying? Now they got to go out and make a system that actually with R&D that's going to affect their bottom line, and they don't want to do that. They straight up said that they're nervous about making another one. You know what I mean, about the successor. So they already said that shit.
They haven't lowered prices at all. So they're
Mr. Mindbender. All I'm doing is keeping the conversation short so I can actually, I'm trying to get some fucking, I'm gonna take a nap or whatever the case is. Yeah, I know it's money out of the way, but they want to make the most money, man. And then let me see what else we got here. Hold on for a minute. I mentioned too, people were saying that Sony is going to end up investing in third party. I think people don't fucking get it. Sony is technically third party because they're making games on the PC, but more importantly, they bought Bungie that's going to continue to make games for all platforms. So when they say they're going to invest money on there, they're just basically stating that they're going to invest money in those particular avenues. You're not going to see
they sell most of their multiplayer go to PC too.
Right. That's what it is. I mean, and you can't blame a motherfucker for trying to make some money. Like all this fanboy shit, where people are crying about Sony going to PC. Be grateful that they're not doing day and date and smaller bite-sized fucking games. I think they're doing it right. They had to go out and make the switch after Wii U. It is how progress grows. I mean, but no one wants to waste money. I know they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to come to grips with making a successor because it's going to drop off in general. And I feel like because the PlayStation 5s or Xbox Series weren't easy to find, that they were reaping the benefits for that shit too. Not a crazy ton, but they benefited from those consoles not existing. And they got relatively good games as well and experiences that you can't find anywhere else. So I know as a company, if you make a console and you're getting $300 back on it, and then now you have to make another successor that you only get $100 back on it, they're going to be like, I don't want to take that $200 hit. They're going to have to because they were thinking that it was going to do another 28 million. Like, excuse me, fucking crazy ass shit. And I think we got one more subject. So, Sony said this, and this was very interesting, right? They mentioned that they sold 70 million units of PlayStation software in the quarter, 14 million units of first-party games in that quarter. Digital software ratio is at 71% right now. The PlayStation Plus subscribers didn't leave, and I think that's going to be jumping when that fucking subscription come out. I'm gonna tell you right now, people can pay for Netflix for $20. They could pay for fucking this premium tier just to try out these fucking games. I promise you that shit gonna be successful. And they know it too. They fucking know it. If they play their cards right, man, they can get the best of both worlds. They could do the day and date situation without hurting the developers or the platform, But the most pertinent piece of information is this 14 million units of first-party games for that quarter. Jeremy, what games came out for the quarter from like from December to March?
GT7 and Horizon.
How many titles from either do you think is a part of that 14 million?
Probably 10.
So you think they sold 5 million a piece?
I'd say 6 and 4 probably. They keep charting even higher. So than they did the previous month.
Gran Turismo is going to sell Gran Turismo numbers. You can't. That's going to happen.
It's going to hit 10 million. So
yeah. So you never ever worry about Gran Turismo. Never. They'd be just fine. That's just how it is.
Sometimes those two are charting higher than the previous month. So
this is what somebody mentioned too. They was like, well, that's the only way that they can buy a PS5 is to buy the bundle that had the games in there. I'm thinking like, nigga, like it has extra controllers and shit too. Some people don't want to be scalped. You know what I'm saying? So if they're buying a bundle with Horizon or Gran Turismo, they want that game. They want that game. But you can't sell it back to the fucking the man. You can't sell it back to the store. It's part of that bundle. Even if you look at it that way, I do strongly believe that each one of them bitches sold 6 million for sure. I think they had Uncharted that came out, wasn't it? Uncharted 2 as well.
Yeah, the Thieves Collection. Yeah,
I think that was in there too.
Things are still selling though. Still, Miles Morales is still charting a lot of the time.
Yo, what's going on, Brian? Look. I'm gonna say this, man. Like as we come to a close, man. Elden Ring sold 13 million in a month, right? But Elden Ring is also on on PC and on Xbox, so it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? What's going to sell in the long run? Because I think honestly, if you really want to know, I think Elden Ring is going to do 18 million and it's going to stop. That's about as far as they go with that one. That's what I believe.
If I didn't have a PS5, I wouldn't be buying any of these games. I'd be waiting to play them in the best way possible. That's me.
And if people can play Assassin's Creeds, like they could easily play Horizon. I've seen so much shit talking about Horizon, how the storyline sucked, how it was barely anything different than the first game. Like, how the fuck did you come to that conclusion? Is really what I want to know. That shit's wild. Every time I hear that bitch talk about something, it's literally exactly the same. Like, what? I can't do any of the things that I would like to do. I shouldn't say any, but I can't do a lot of the things that I couldn't do that I could do in Horizon Zero Dawn. The games don't play the same, and it does have its flaws. But I already told you those flaws are to me are they are preemptively. Um, they've made the game based off of some sort of multiplayer. That's what I could tell by playing the game. There's some sort of multiplayer that they have in mind, and that's why the single player plays the way that it plays. And I think it's going to be a lot like Monster Hunter, and it's going to be open world, not like Ghost of Tsushima where you have like a little arena. I mean, like you search that world for different variants and shit like that, and you start off fresh. And they're probably going to overhaul the melee system for people that like to do melee or range. I think it's going to be pretty lit. I already told you what it is, you know. And Sony is in a very good spot right now. So they're in a very, very, very good spot. They got a competitor. They judge it based off of watching streamers for 10 minutes. That's it. But yes. Right on. Right on. So I think personally, what people need to understand, right, is Sony has a competitor for Game Pass. That's not going to hurt the developers. If I played the game for 2 hours and if it played good to me and I was already on the fence, and I'm going to purchase it. You know what? If I have a little nostalgic itch, like I already know, Jeremy, you may have a nostalgia itch. Maybe you want to play Siphon Filter. Maybe you want to play fucking Xenogears or any of those particular things. You be able to play it. I don't know how good it will look, or if the emulation is going to make them look vastly superior. I don't know, but if it does, they got a fucking winner. And people don't understand. People were calling it demos. And I'm going to talk about that shit too, how the media is like really trying to shape a narrative. It's interesting because they didn't mention anything about the Xbox being down like that. They just kind of like swept it under the rug and said, yeah, they get it done. But it's always outrage and outcries when it comes to PlayStation. It's fucking weird. It's weird. It's kind of like how if you try to search for Amber Heard and you don't find shit on YouTube or shit is blocked on Twitter, you know, it's shadow blocked and shit like that because they don't want to put, you know, the feminist movement, you know, in a bad light. You know what I mean? So don't think for a second that this shit can't be a conspiracy. Shit is weird out here. You got weirdos out here, man, that they'll do anything to be right, man. You got a lot of weirdos. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I hope you guys tune in and listen to the full recording because there's a lot of shit that I would like to unpack. This shit was very interesting to ask a look. If you weren't here, Brian, the whole time, like go back because it's going to be like for an hour. Listen to the inner workings of an Xbot. Xbot. Yep, I call him an Xbot. Listen to the emotion in it. Listen to how he states that they were getting bullied and the particular words that they were using. And he did mention a lot of Xbots are like glass cannons. You know what I'm saying? They dish out a whole like when he mentioned that we were making fun of him, this, and this. And I'm like, yo, the type of shit that was going on in the PS3 era, man, that shit was fucking crazy. And I'm like, yo, we had ammunition because we had good games that come out. Motherfuckers was calling us indie games or indie station. You know what I'm saying? And then when we start coming up with the heavy hitters, then it was walking simulator. And it's like you should have went directly to the source and be like, I ain't spending shit until you fix it. But you worried about what the competition. It's very, I can't wait. I'll go after you finish. I'm very interested. Look, I have to. It's funny, Brian. I have to go back and listen to it myself because it was so interesting. There's a lot of confirmation that Jemiah was talking about as well. How he was basically stating that this shit is how because the PlayStation fanboys were annoying, but it's more to it than that. It ain't that easy to just break this shit off. It's more to it. Very interesting shit, but there was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of thinking about the good old days, and he mentioned about the frat boy thing, which I mentioned before too, you know, and how the PlayStation platform doesn't feel like a party. It feels very sterile, very jazzy, very loungy. It was very truthful. And my friend, shout out to Ken, that guy Ken or Dubug. He said, Josh, you need to start interviewing like Xbox and see how they think and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't really want the smoke, and I don't want to talk to irrational fanboys, any irrational fanboy for the matter. But it's a way of doing it. It's for sure a way of doing it, and I gotta think about it. I gotta sit on this conversation and really just break this shit apart. This was very, very interesting, man. But until then, I'm gonna try to eat real quick, try to take a quick nap, probably like 30 minutes, and away I go. We'll get my day started. I don't work tomorrow. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here, man. Thank you so much for joining in. Yo, vegan Adam, yo, it's on the YouTube.